Now, new, live, and local, and every weekday from 8 to 9 a.m. This is the show talking about what you want to know, what you need to know, and part of Woof Boom Radio's mission to use our voice to build our community. The all-new Delaware County Today, presented by Muncie Community Schools. Now on WMUN, the Talk of Muncie. Here's your host, Director of News Operations and lead morning anchor, Steve Lindell.
People are talking about incoming weather. There's been a baseball time change today. Kurt Darling at 8:45 with me live in Studio B. We're getting closer and closer to the primary. We have another Meet the Candidate segment coming in just a minute or so from now. First and foremost, let's look into the weekend here. The weekend that precedes commencement at Ball State University. We're working on Hugh Jackman. Promise. Let's get our weather for this weekend, though, from WMUN's Paul Poteet.
Still looking at a couple of cold fronts. One's going to arrive this evening, and one will arrive Monday evening. They will take our temperatures down into the lower 70s this weekend, and then closer to normal next week. Much of the week will be into the mid-60s. Today, though, how about 82 for the high temperature? We'll start with sunshine. Clouds increase this afternoon. After about 4 o'clock, there'd be a late afternoon shower or storm chance into this evening. Some of those storms could bring some damaging wind gusts. We're under a level 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather from the Storm Prediction Center. 82 today, 55 tonight, and then no problems for your weekend plans. Partly sunny in the morning tomorrow, mostly sunny in the afternoon, 74. 72 and partly sunny on Sunday. Beautiful weather, and still back up to 78 Monday before the front arrives with showers and storms Monday night into Tuesday morning. Some of those could be severe. And then Tuesday's high 70 and mid-60s for a few days after that. There's your WMUN Muncie weather. Back to you, Steve.
All right, Paul Poteet, meteorologist in charge. Hourly updates, weekdays and weekends, because weather happens all the time. We're in what we call the two-shot now in Studio B. This is my guest for this morning's Meet the Candidate segment, and I'm going to let you start by introducing yourself to our listeners and our viewers.
Yeah, so my name is Randall McAllister. I'm running for State Representative in District 34.
Stand by 1 second. I'm sorry, Randall. One of my microphones isn't working here. This is very strange. This has never happened before. Stand by 1 second. I don't know what's happening here. This is live radio. Stand by. Would you bring that microphone over to you? We're going to ad-lib here. I'm going to have you scoot your chair over just a little bit. And let's give that one a try right there. Why don't you?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I got you. All right, good.
Right.
So, again, as you were saying, Paul, go ahead and do that intro for me. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so my name is Randall McAllister, and I'm running for State Representative in District 34. It represents all of Muncie and a little bit outside of town. So just working class citizen and not a politician. So just a different kind of candidate into the race.
Is this your first time running for elected office?
Yes, this is the first time I've ran for elective office, but I've ran some national campaigns, for example, like Congresswoman Nancy Mace, to get out the vote and to energize the voters.
That's great. You mentioned as we were walking in today some of the names that you've had the good fortune of working for on some campaigns. Aside from the Mace name, you had some others. I'm curious to know some of your background there. It's kind of neat to know.
Yeah, so in 2022, I worked for Rand Paul's campaign, and also I've helped with Thomas Massey. So lots of different strong Congress representatives throughout the nation, and my ultimate goal was to reach his voter base and connect and energize the voters to get back out to vote.
Okay. Randall McAllister, I'm going to ask you to scooch real close to that microphone so we hear you sound nice, loud, and proud. You are one of the two candidates, Republicans, running for the primary for District 34. What makes, in your mind, you the better choice for that nomination on May 5?
Yes, so as just an everyday citizen, I believe a lot of our representation has been failing us. They're not focusing on the citizens that are really struggling and financially, and educations are failing, and we're not really reaching voters to see what they need to solve those issues. So I believe that, I'm the oldest of 8 kids, and I've grew up very poor. I grew up in Hartford City, and Hartford City is a great community, but there's not a lot of jobs there. So I moved to Muncie about 18, 19. So really, I believe that our elected officials need to focus on the everyday citizens, not just on big corporations. And that's what I stand for, is the everyday citizen, so we can get back on track for the true American dream.
Randall McAllister is the oldest of 8 kids. That's something. I only have 5 in my family, and I'm the youngest of 5. I'm not running for anything, though. You are, District 34 state rep. As you've been in the campaign mode, what issues are you hearing most about from the voters out there?
Yeah, a lot of the issues we're hearing about is the cost of living, especially housing. The housing market has went drastically up. Also, utility costs have continued to increase, but a lot of people's incomes are not. Mm-hmm. So if they're spending $1,000, $1,200 a month, and then they're only making maybe $2,500, it's really hard for them to provide for their families. So we need to really get the housing market under control, and the cost of living, and even groceries.
Groceries, absolutely. Randall McAllister is our guest. We're on WMUN's Delaware County Today. We're inside Studio B. Our Meet the Candidates segments continue. One of the other state issues that you would be dealing with if you end up in that chair for District 34 is property taxes. What's your stance on it? Do you think it's perfect, it's wrong, it's somewhere in between? And what are your ideas to fix it if you think that is the case?
Yeah, so I am against property taxes. I don't think that we should be renting our homes from the government. Also, they went up again this year. My idea would be more of a local tax. That way, if you're spending money in the community, it's going to be invested back into the community, and it's not just on homeowners to invest that back in. So it'd be up to everybody that's coming into the community to be able to invest into the community.
One of the other issues that's very pertinent and on people's minds are data centers, and the state of Indiana and everywhere else is struggling with the should we, shouldn't we, what's the impact, what's not the impact. What's your stance on the data center concept in general?
I'm also against data centers. Data centers use a lot of energy, that's water and electric. So if they were to be brought in here, we'd have to make sure that they didn't put the utility cost on the citizens, so that the data center owners would take that cost, because it's going to take a lot of energy onto our power grid.
Randall McAllister is our guest. This is the Meet the Candidates segment this morning on WMUN's Delaware County Today. The primary is May 5. Early voting is already underway. One of the other big issues that we hear a lot about in our news business, and I'm certain that you're hearing it too as a candidate for District 34, medical costs. In Indiana, we know that our state has some of the highest costs. I don't know exactly how that works. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but is there anything that tips your mind that you would think that from a state level needs to be done to help Hoosiers in that regard?
Well, I think that they're taking advantage of the healthcare providers. So whichever, if you're using Blue Cross Blue Shield or Medicaid, I think that they're just pricing it out according to their co-pays or what's covered and not covered. I think the cost for everyone should be the same and consistent. So someone should be paying $20, or someone else that doesn't have as great insurance should not have to pay $500. So we really need to get that under control.
Randall McAllister is our guest here in Studio B on WMUN, Delaware County Today. I'm Steve Lindell. Another topic is job growth. You mentioned housing being important and getting those costs under control, your words. What about job growth as it relates to a state representative? What could you do to help bring jobs into District 34?
Well, I think we should give better tax abatements to small businesses, because small businesses help, build Muncie. But a lot of them have went out because, just operation cost and not getting people to come and purchase those items because they can get it on Amazon much cheaper. But we have to invest back into small businesses, and I think that can help them thrive.
All right, very good. In the final moment that we have here with you in our segment, I give you the floor now. Is there anything that we have not talked about this morning in our segment that you would like for voters to know about Randall McAllister?
Well, I think what I'd like to cover is the voting centers. So a lot of people that I've talked to at the door, I've been door knocking for several months now, and a big question is, hey, where do I go vote? When do I go vote? So on May 5, you can vote at any of the voting centers. So you're not just assigned like you were in previous years. You can go to any in Delaware County. And also this Saturday, there's going to be at the fairgrounds and at the county building on 100 Main Street. So those will be open from 8:30 a.m. until 4 p.m. So please get out to vote if you're voting in the Republican primary or Democratic primary. We've had a low turnout in previous years, and this is the time that your vote can make a huge impact.
All right. Well, I say this to all of my candidate guests in these Meet the Candidate segments. Thank you, Randall McAllister, for your willingness to serve. It takes a lot to put yourself out there, and we appreciate the fact that you and so many others are willing to take that step forward and to do it for your community.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We'll come back with more in a moment. This is Delaware County Today on WMUN.
Too many families face a widening gap between what they can afford and what they need to thrive. More than half of families in the U.S. today are one paycheck away from financial crisis. At Good 360, we deliver hope when families need it most, providing essentials like clothing, hygiene items, and household goods. Put help within reach. Learn more at good360.org.
Start your day with Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal. The instant oatmeal ready to help you tackle whatever your day brings, like wrangling your toddler into their car seat. That was fun. Coaching your 6th graders soccer team. Go girls! And carrying all the groceries in one trip. Whew. Try Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal, granola, and bars. Great taste and a good source of protein. Quaker, bring out the good.
Why choose Muncie Community Schools? Parents say it's the people.
They love the teachers. We love the teachers. They're really good with the kids.
Miss Calhoun, she offers to tutor her after school for her reading, but she brought that grade up, and I'm proud of that.
These are some of the best people. They really are. They go out their way to make sure he has what he needs and that he's able to learn.
The school is wonderful, staff's wonderful. You couldn't ask for any more.
Muncie Community Schools, placing learners first.
Stories surround us everywhere. In the pages of a novel, the panels of a comic book, the verses of a song, or the lines of a poem. But what makes these stories resonate? What connects them to our lives? Join Cam and TC every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. for WMUN's Page Turners, the broadcast book club brought to you by Yorktown Public Library, where they explore the art of storytelling in all its forms. Join the story on 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, and Alexa, say, play WMUN. Every story has a beginning. Find yours with Page Turners on Radio First, then on demand at WMUNmuncie.com. Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
Looking at streaming audio worldwide, I see Mama in Minnesota and Roger. There's Portland, Oregon. I've already texted my sister Sherry way out west. California, let's see, Livermore and Long Beach. There's also Atlanta, Georgia, and Roswell, Georgia, and other people's listening in various locales. This is Muncie, Indiana. We're on the campus of Woof Boom Radio. This is WMUN's Delaware County Today, and let's go to a snapshot of our day today.
It's April 24th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is National Pigs in a Blanket Day. Little hot dogs wrapped in a pastry. Of course, there are some variations, like in the UK, sausages instead of hot dogs. The first written reference to them was in a 1957 Betty Crocker cookbook for kids. Also on this day in 2005, the German Joseph Ratzinger becomes Pope Benedict XVI, succeeding Pope John Paul II. In 1990, the first mission as part of NASA's Great Observatories program, Space Shuttle Discovery launches, bringing the Hubble Space Telescope to orbit, which can see billions of light years away. Born today,
doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. Stand a little taller.
Kelly Clarkson in 1982.
People.
And Barbara Streisand in 1942. I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
On WMUN, an affiliate of Fox News Radio, updates right around the top of the hour, every day. Who knows what might happen this weekend, or weekdays for that matter. Later on today, we have a slight revision in our air plan. The weather coming in, timing-wise, has forced Ball State baseball to bump up their start time, make it earlier today. We'll cover that more specifically in just a little while in the empty air chair right there with the now repaired microphone, too. That will be Kurt Darling at about 8:45. He's got a whole lot of things to talk about. I want to ask him about those Colts, too, who had no draft picks yesterday in the first round. Some guy named Fernando went number one. Shocking. Not at all. Now, let's get on to our local news summary on WMUN. Voice of the Cardinals, Mick Tidrow, told WMUN the conference race has been highly competitive for men's volleyball.
This league has been so strong this year, so it doesn't surprise me what happens from here on out with who makes the championship, who wins the championship. But I'll tell you, the Cardinals have put themselves squarely in the middle as the one seed, as the regular season champions, to do some damage and win this thing.
Ball State men plays Loyola Chicago 6 p.m. tomorrow at Worthen for the MEVA Championship and a berth in the NCAA tournament.
In a 50-48 vote, the Senate passed a framework this week for a reconciliation bill to pay ICE and CBP, but now the House has to pass it, and some in the House GOP want to add in other items, like aspects of the Save America Act. House Speaker Mike Johnson says funding just ICE and CBP has to be separate.
The Senate did what was expected. It has to be clean because it's got to be quick.
Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Ball State reached its $350 million goal in its Our Call to Beneficence fundraising campaign. Began in 2023, runs through 2027. Opportunities remain to fund student scholarships, academic programs, and faculty innovation. Picking the upcoming schedule for the Colts could land you a spot at the Super Bowl.
The Indianapolis Colts are hosting a schedule challenge contest where you can predict the team's 2026 schedule for a chance to win tickets to the Super Bowl. The contestant with the most accurate guess will get tickets to Super Bowl 61 at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Entries opened on Wednesday morning, and they will remain open until April 30th, just before midnight. The NFL releases their full schedule in May. You can enter the contest by going to colts.com/win. John Herrick, Network Indiana.
Applications being accepted for the Anderson Independence Day Parade. It's Saturday, July 4th. If you're interested, apply at the City of Anderson's website by June 24. Forecasters keeping an eye out today for what could happen to the weather in Indiana. John Herrick has that.
One of those forecasters is Greg Mello with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis.
Yeah, we are expecting a more organized system to move in on Friday.
He says he doesn't believe those storms could be severe, but there is a system on track to move in early next week, and that may bring severe weather. John Herrick, Network Indiana.
Our meteorologist Paul Poteet always has the updates for you.
Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza was selected first overall by the Raiders in the 2026 NFL Draft, making the Heisman Trophy winner the new face of the silver and black. The Rams shocked the draft by selecting Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson at 13, but Fox NFL analyst Jay Glazer says the move was made with current quarterback Matthew Stafford's blessing. Tony Genualdo, Fox News.
Anderson High School's Rube Goldberg machine team is taking on the world again. Coach David Perrell told the Anderson Journal Morning Show the team is in the virtual World Championship, the finals streaming the Saturday of Labor Day weekend.
They'll showcase all those videos and then announce the winners that evening, kind of in an award ceremony. So we're hoping to be watching that Saturday night and maybe get a little bit of recognition on that stage.
It's the third straight year AHS will compete on the world stage. Illinois lawmakers are working to keep the Bears from moving to Indiana.
The plan lawmakers approved on Wednesday comes with big perks, including a property tax freeze and other tax breaks for the team.
It creates a statewide suite of mechanisms that allow organizations like the Bears to remain a part of Illinois' stream of commerce.
Democratic State Representative Cam Buckner says the bill supports building a stadium in Arlington Heights, even as Indiana keeps pushing its dome proposal in Hammond to try to lure the Bears. Ryan Hedrick, Network Indiana.
The Madison County Alliance holds a welcome reception for new CEO Marissa Skaggs this Wednesday at the Enterprise Center, 4 to 6 p.m. Register to attend at the Alliance's business website. The Red Cross has a blood drive today, 9 to 2 at Hoosier Park, Anderson. One also planned for Shenandoah High School, Middletown. That's Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. there.
Support has increased for the U.S. action in Iran to 45%, up from 42% a month ago. Still, more than half who responded opposed the war. Even with that, almost 60% of respondents rated the military's performance from good to excellent. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A second person's been arrested in the murder of a Westfield poker player.
James Matt Lucian was found dead in his Westfield home on March 12th. Justin Jones was arrested on Wednesday. Ronald Dwayne Brown Jr. is accused of shooting Lucian over a debt. Brown was arrested back on March 30th. John Herrick, Network Indiana.
Madison County's received more than $645,000 from FEMA to repair damage resulting from the April 2025 tornadoes. Herald Bulletin says that they submitted more than $2.5 million in costs from those storms. On Earth Day this week, the city of Carmel celebrated a step toward quality of life and talent attraction.
Carmel Gateway has officially de-paved over 2 acres of asphalt, transforming it into an amenity-rich space called the West Lawn. Mayor Sue Finkham spoke at the grand opening and highlighted the city's commitment to creating spaces that makes residents and employees feel valued.
The city of Carmel's invested for decades in quality of life improvements like the trail network, green spaces, and pocket parks, and big amazing parks. And so we felt like having this at the entrance to Carmel is a wonderful way to say welcome, you're valued, and we want you to stay, live, play, whatever it is in Carmel.
The new West Lawn features a terraced amphitheater, modern AV technology, and ample flex space for events like farmers markets. Jonette Cruz, Network Indiana.
Muncie's Arbor Day celebration and free tree giveaway is tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Minnetrista Museum and Gardens. The event features free saplings, planting demonstrations, and family activities. More local every day on our free WoofBoomNews.com.
Here in Muncie, we know what it means to show up for one another. We celebrate our wins, big and small. And when times get tough, we lean in, not away. At WMUN, we're more than just a voice on the radio. We are your neighbor, your friend, your connection to what matters most. Every morning, we wake up with you, sharing the stories of our city, highlighting the heroes you don't always hear about, and cheering on the teams that carry our hopes on their shoulders. This isn't just news and sports. this is home. From the streets of downtown to the heart of Delaware County, we're here because you're here. Thanks for letting WMUN be part of your day. We're proud to be your hometown station. This week in Delaware County, a weekly show on WMUN that's part of our promise to use our voice to build and connect our community. Listen Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. to catch up on local news, community info, and talk about issues and ideas that you need to know on 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, and on Alexa, say play WMUN. Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
If you only knew how my mind worked, or how it sometimes doesn't work. I had every intention of bringing you the local news summary right about now at 8:30, but we just did that, and this is a true story. I didn't realize that I just did that 2 minutes ago until 5 seconds before my microphone was on, thanks to Aiden Foster. It's amazing. It's amazing and frightening at the same time. Here's what I'll do now. I will say hello and good morning to all of my Coffee with Bill friends. They're getting ready for a 9 a.m. start of their unofficial little service club. I'm going to call it that. This is just a bunch of good people that come together every Friday morning at 9 o'clock. They have a yummy cup of coffee. The Bill is the latte maker. That machine is loud, but it's so delicious. And they get together under the, quote, big white dome on Madison Street. They have mystery guests, Buffalo Bill's best latte da this side of Three-Way Tennessee. I've never heard of that one before. These are the words of Ed Knatzer, who is a realtor by trade. Not a sponsor, but he could be, I suppose. Look at some of these guests that they're going to have today. Inspire Academy is going to be talking and sharing about a spring gala that will feature special music from none other than Mike Martin and Doc Peterson. Wow. That sounds great. That's Thursday, May 7, so we're getting closer to that. They will also be talking about Muncie Land Bank items. And do you know what the Land Bank is? We should have the Land Bank in as a guest sometime. I've got some history things that are noted in the notes here from Ed Knatzer. He's always good at that. And then this op-ed I saw floating around the internet about big acts, big rock bands and superstars through the years that have performed at none other than the Delaware County Fairgrounds in Muncie, Indiana. Frankie Valli is noted here specifically. And Frankie Valli is 91 and still has a great voice, but his lips don't move. What does that mean? There's probably something I should have pre-read there. I don't know. Anyway, there's a whole lot of paper that I need to put over here behind me. Thank you very much. And share with my audience even more that we have for you today. Ball State Baseball. The home series is indeed today, Friday, the 24th of April, and also Saturday, Sunday games. There's been a couple of time changes from whatever schedule you may have had printed and in front of you from days gone by. We'll cover that and specify our broadcast plans as well with Kurt Darling, Woof Boom Sports Director, in about 10-ish minutes or so from now. Next item this morning, Congress apparently got off to a bad start with the most recent session.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. Congress took a 2-week-plus recess for Easter and Passover, but when lawmakers returned, they hardly checked off anything from a legislative to-do list. The resignations of former GOP Texas Representative Tony Gonzalez and former Democratic California Congressman Eric Swalwell consumed much of the buzz around the Capitol. It siphoned attention from a week where Republicans hoped to message about Tax Day and tout the merits of tax cuts from last year's One Big Beautiful Bill. Quote, as always, there are a lot of distractions around here, and that's kind of whatever the immediate news cycle is, said Senate Majority Leader John Thune. Lawmakers failed to approve a long-term extension of FISA Section 702, that's the controversial spy program, and the clock is ticking on the Iran war. There are signs of growing GOP angst over the conflict, despite Republicans in both chambers repeatedly voting against war powers measures. Some Republicans have started to signal that they view 60 days, April 29th, as the deadline to end the war or seek congressional approval. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
On WMUN with my producer, Aiden Foster, being very cognizant of my closed-circuit commands to make sure that I don't sound like a goofball on the radio. Thank you, Aiden. Aiden, just back from a big competition for the Ball State University. In fact, I need to get some written data on that competition. He told me just the other day, yesterday in fact, that success was had by the Cardinals, and they have had success in speaking sort of competitions in previous years, but it's been a while since they've done as well as they did at this particular event that they just got back from. That is all I will say for now, because I don't want to say it wrong. We are on terrestrial radio first and foremost, 92.5 FM, 1340 AM. We also are available on all those streaming platforms. Let's not jump to a commercial break as you video viewers are seeing. Let's instead look at the big map. I got a bunch of California listeners. Got the left coast sister Sherry. I think I talked to Mom already. I got the Georgia. I got the Ohio. Got a bunch in Indiana. Those little blue dots that you're looking at, that's what signifies all of that. And again, that's just really a video game to us. The vast majority of our audience listens on the FM and the AM and the streaming from the app and so on. But when you get on those smart speakers, actually when you're streaming on an app, you show up on that map too. No, we don't know who you are. We don't know where you are other than your city. We certainly can't break into your computer or something, so there's no worries. It's just a neat way, I think, to connect the world into little old Muncie, Indiana, USA, and we like connecting very, very much indeed. In Studio B, lots of things come out of this room. Tomorrow, Saturday, the 25th of April, there will be a special event gathering in here, and I'm not certain that Kurt Darling, our sports director, wants me to share about that just yet, so I won't. I've got to ask permission for such things. I can tell you this much, though. For Ball State baseball fans and Ball State Cardinal fans in general, this is going to be special, unique, and absolutely fantastic. That's all I'm saying for now. It's 8:37 in the morning. How about this item now? If you're looking for better sleep, Fox's Lisa Brady has a few tips.
This is House Call for Health. Your nighttime habits could be sabotaging a good night's sleep. Most American adults don't get enough of the recommended amount of sleep, which is 7 to 9 hours a night. One doctor at the Cleveland Clinic says 3 habits could be making that worse. First, watching television or using your phone just before or at bedtime. The blue light from those devices can disrupt melatonin production, which makes it harder to fall and stay asleep. Stop the screen time an hour or 2 leading up to bed. The same is true for exercise and eating, because your body stays more alert and hotter when it should be resting. Another factor for poor sleep is social jet lag. That's when a person stays up late on the weekends, which ends up making it harder to go to bed earlier during the week. Doctors say it's best to keep your sleep schedule consistent. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
WMUN, home of Tony Katz today. That is our noon to 3 program. A lot of news happens in those 3 hours of the day. He covers it live as it's occurring. Sometimes dives into press conferences and gives you immediate information firsthand so you can hear what's going on in your world. Today, we will be carrying the first almost hour of the program, noon to almost 1 o'clock, and the reason for that is because of that Ball State baseball change. Time-wise, we'll explain that a little more specifically in the next 5-10 minutes or so. We will continue with all kinds of people on Monday. That is our regular talk block item at 9:30 on Mondays, hosted by Dr. Joe Mashevitz, the Indiana Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame member, no less. He had Lee Edwards on earlier this week. You can replay that on the All Kinds of People channel from our website, WMUNmuncie.com. Michael O'Hara is the guest this coming Monday. And then down the line, Laura O'Hara. They do know each other. They're separate segments, though. Dottie Krebs. Todd Miracle is a future guest. Emma Kumar. Gene Orlando, Adrian Wheatley, Brian Ayers, Lindsay Horan, and many others are scheduled to appear. That's 9:30 on Monday mornings. It's called All Kinds of People with Dr. Joe Mashevitz. He asks them the darndest things. I wish he'd try and make them cry sometimes, like the old Barbara Walters interviews. He doesn't do that, though. He doesn't go that route at all. It is interesting, though, to find out things that you may not know about people that are right here in your community. Maybe you know them. Maybe you thought you knew them. I've learned all sorts of things about all sorts of people, all kinds of people, hence the name. That's at 9:30 Monday mornings. In the nearer future, our Saturday morning talk block will be tomorrow, beginning at 7 a.m. every Saturday morning. And yes, the command that you're using for your Alexa device or the radio in your car is the same, the FMs and the AMs. The programming is local, it is intentional, it is really, really powerful too. All Kinds of People is the Monday thing, but on Saturdays we start with Paige Turner's The Broadcast Book Club, a couple of neat guests in the very near future. And then after that, you get the Leadership Blueprint. Ken Hudson is the host with the most. Great guests, great topics, and again, local content for building up our community, and that's 8 a.m. Saturday mornings. At 9, it's This Week in Delaware County. It's me back on the radio for that one, 9 until 10 a.m. That's part of the Saturday plan tomorrow and every Saturday here on WMUN. And on Sundays, we have a talk block also at 6 a.m. if you're up early enough. You can hear a program called Taking It to the Street Beat. James Burgess works really diligently on his show content, and he gives you a perspective that we think is interesting, fascinating, and quite possibly useful to you and many others out there. That's 6 until 6:30. And then this Sunday at 6:30 a.m., where a program called Community Focus previously had resided, we're going to start a brand new local program. It's called Porch Light Radio. Jasmine and Sam, Munsonians through and through, are going to talk about neighborhood associations, connecting people and connecting topics and just connecting. That is a 6:30 a.m. Sunday program. It launches this coming Sunday morning. We encourage you to consume it as it airs or get it on the interwebs afterwards. Everything is uploaded to the website after it airs on WMUNmuncie.com. We are moments away from sports of all sorts. Kurt Darling coming in. He's in the green room right now. Stand by. That's next on WMUN.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Gary Dick. Ground will be broken today in the Grant County town of Upland on a new boutique hotel and master plan community, all part of a $100 million Main Street Mile project. Announced in 2024, the project is led by Taylor University and aims to connect the school to Upland and help revitalize the town, says Taylor President Michael Lindsay.
That would include a mixed-use development, a renovation to our town library, which gets amazing circulation, and even putting in a destination restaurant. Then combine that with a development closer to our campus, which will be a hospitality node that would be anchored by a new collegiate inn.
Pennsylvania-based Communications Test Design is once again growing its presence in southern Indiana by expanding at the River Ridge Commerce Center in Charlestown. The company, which provides engineering, repair, and logistics services for the communications industry, says it plans to invest $44 million to build its third building at the business park and create more than 400 jobs. You're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio.
We build Indiana.
The Laborers International Union of North America builds and maintains roads, bridges, and other essential infrastructure that make us the crossroads of America. So thanks to LIUNA members' work, Hoosiers have a better quality of life, like access to utilities, easier routes to jobs, schools, or medical care, and deliveries keep moving. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Indiana, start your engines. Join us from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for our Emmy Award-winning Business at the Brickyard, presented by LIUNA. All month long, we'll bring you exclusive interviews, features, and a behind-the-scenes look at how the business of motorsports and racing drive the Indiana economy. Business at the Brickyard. It's front row access you won't want to miss.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
As I properly adjust the camera settings here, Kurt Darling is taller than some other people, and you sit up so straight. You have such great posture. How do you do that?
Doesn't look like now the mic's working again. It was barely working right there, but I don't know. I've never been called taller than people before. I'm an average 5'10".
I think you tower above many people. Kurt Darling is the Woof Boom sports director, and he will now be talking about, as you would imagine, sports of all sorts. Let's start with BSU baseball. There's been a couple of timing changes for the home series. Go there first, if you would.
That's right. So today's game has been changed to a 1 o'clock first pitch. It was previously a 3 o'clock first pitch, and so that means 12:45 pregame here on WMUN. Later on this afternoon, that'll be Mick Tidrow and Rob Fisher on the call for that one. Saturday, that's the only one that hasn't been changed. It will be a 1 o'clock first pitch for that one as well. However, for the Sunday game, that one has also been moved to a noon first pitch. So that will be one of the earlier games that we have on the schedule here today. But either way, the UMass Minutemen are coming into town, and it's a pretty pivotal MAC series for the Ball State Cardinals here coming up this weekend.
UMass fly for this, or do they do bus? That's a long
I
way.
honestly don't know. I would imagine that they're probably flying for this, and that's also probably why they had to move the game up on Sundays, because it's a Sunday, so you want to make sure that the kids get back in time for class on Monday and whatnot. And so, so either way, it's a long haul for UMass, but hey, at least Sacramento State isn't playing MAC baseball this year. That would be a long one.
Made possible by AutomaticPoolCovers.com. The baseball coverage continues. We're running out of games, but we have had a wonderful season so far, and we hope they continue to keep the wins rolling. Kurt Darling is our guest here in Studio B at WMUN for Delaware County Today. Next sports item, men's volleyball got a win to stay in.
Yes, that's right. And they got to win to stay in, but either way, it's going to be a pivotal matchup here on Saturday. It's of course it's Loyola Chicago that they're going to be facing off in the MIVA Volleyball Championship. And I tell you what, Steve, I love this format for men's volleyball. I think it's really cool. You get a bunch of regional teams just getting together, and even though it's not NCAA sanctioned just yet, it's still one of those things that's really been very, very exciting for the Cardinals and continuing that tradition of good volleyball here in East Central Indiana.
And if you win, you're in the NCAA tournament, but if you lose, heaven forbid, could you still make the tournament if you're Ball State, or is that dicier?
I think it's going to be tough, but I think they could make a run for it. But no, you definitely want to at least mind your P's and Q's on that and get the job done here this weekend.
Always easier to do it that way. There's no doubt about it. Kurt Darling is our guest. This is WMUN's Delaware County Today. We're talking about sports of all sorts. I saw the Fever have an exhibition game scheduled soon, and someone named Caitlin is playing this year.
She's healthy again,
this?
too. Yeah. So, Caitlin Clark is back for the Indiana Fever. They're playing the New York Liberty tomorrow to open the WNBA preseason. And hearing all of the media availability this week here, Steve, there's a lot of energy amongst the roster this year. Sophie Cunningham is back. You have Aaliyah Boston, who just signed that record-breaking deal. Now she's the highest-paid basketball player in the WNBA history. You've got Lexi Hull back, and then you have Raven Johnson, who's going to be a really good piece coming out of the WNBA draft this year. So lots of talent for the Fever this year. I think we're going to see a really good season. That's if they can stay healthy.
Let's go NFL draft. Somebody picked first yesterday was not a surprise at all.
No, it wasn't. Fernando Mendoza was the number 1 overall pick by the Las Vegas Raiders out of Indiana. But I tell you what, Indiana talent really showed out this year in the opening round of the NFL draft. Of course, you had Omar Cooper Jr., who was picked 30th overall. Jadarian Price was taken then the final pick in the first round from out of Notre Dame for the Seattle Seahawks, and Jeremiah Love, also from Notre Dame, was taken 3rd overall by the Arizona Cardinals. And so it fell about how I expected watching the NFL draft last night. But now, coming into the second round, that's when the Colts will really be able to do some work after they traded away those first-round picks this past season for Sauce Gardner.
You didn't miss anything yesterday for the Colts fans. There were no picks. You need defense. You think that's where the Colts need to go? Or
I would
what?
imagine that's probably one of the directions that they're going to have to go, and it's because you're losing Kenny Moore. He's asking for a trade as well. You lose another piece as well in Zaire Franklin at linebacker. You're going to need some pass rush help as well. You could get a few different pieces on offense maybe, because now you don't have Michael Pittman Jr. after signing on to commit to Alec Pierce. And so you're going to see, it's going to be interesting to see what Chris Ballard likes to do. We know he loves to trade down to get more picks in a particular draft, but then of course you're sacrificing some value in that regard. But it's going to be fascinating to see what the Colts can do here with the picks they have.
All right, Kurt Darling doing a great job for us. Keep smiling, okay?
We'll do my best.
All right, hold on now for a look ahead at the weekend. Fox's Michelle Polino is looking at the big screen this weekend.
Fox on Film.
I'm Michelle Polino. This is what I was put on earth to do. The long-awaited biopic on Michael Jackson hits theaters. Michael tells the story of Jackson's life beyond the music, tracing his journey from the discovery of his extraordinary talent as the lead of the Jackson 5 to the visionary artist whose creative ambition fueled a relentless pursuit to become the biggest entertainer in the world, highlighting both his life off stage and some of the most iconic performances from his early solo career. Also in theaters, Mother Mary stars Anne Hathaway as the iconic pop star Mother Mary, whose long-buried wounds rise to the surface when she reunites with her estranged best friend and former costume designer. And streaming on Netflix, the Charlize Theron thriller Apex. Theron is a woman testing her limits in the Australian wilderness who is suddenly ensnared in a deadly game with a ruthless predator. That's Fox on Film on Fox News.
On WMUN 92.5 FM and all the rest. Now let's go racing.
Fox in the fast lane.
The NASCAR Cup Series was at Kansas Speedway last Sunday for the Advent Health 400, and Tyler Reddick once again found his way back to victory lane.
Reddick slides up in front of Larson, and the pole sitter is going to come to the line for win number 5.
The call on Fox after an overtime restart on lap 273. Reddick took the outside lane and scraped past Kyle Larson to take the checkered flag. That makes 5 wins for the season for Michael Jordan's 23-11 Racing, with the number 45 car being the winner for all 5 races. Reddick now has a 105-point lead in the standings, with Denny Hamlin behind him in second and Ryan Blaney in third. The Cup Series now heads to Talladega for the first time this season for the Jack Links 500. The action kicks off Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox. For Fox in the Fast Lane, Tony Genualdo, Fox News.
Emanating from Studio B on WMUN, I'm Steve Lindell, host of the daily program here, talking about what people are talking about in East Central Indiana. All right, now, final item, coolest theme music in the business.
Fox Facts.
Alarm clocks are designed to wake you up at a time of your choosing, but one of the earliest versions didn't do that. In 1787, an American inventor named Levi Hutchins built a mechanical alarm clock. There was just one catch. It could only ring at a single time, 4 o'clock in the morning. That wasn't a flaw. It was by design. Hutchins built the clock specifically to wake himself up for work. It wasn't something he sold, just a one-of-a-kind device for his own routine. It would take another 60 years before someone changed that. In 1847, French inventor Antoine Retier patented one of the first adjustable alarm clocks, finally allowing people to choose when they wanted to wake up. But the original idea was much simpler. One person, one time, 4 a.m. Matt Murphy, Fox News.
on WMUN, the 92.5 FM, the 1340 AM, the streaming devices, however you listen, live or on demand. We appreciate you listening. Please tell a friend to do the same thing. Subscribe to that studio page on YouTube, why don't you? YouTube.com, look for Woof Boom Studio B. Subscribe and get a lot of other visual content, not commercial breaks. You get cameras. It's radio, the original social media. For Aiden Foster, my producer in the Axia Command Center, Steve Lindell, have a great weekend. Talk again Monday morning on WMUN.